how do we start thinking about how do we improve student retention? Because we know that the whole reason we want students to be educated is so they can go out and make decisions of consequence in this world. We want them to make it a better place.
This question of developing a strong sense of student agency is incredibly important. Students have control over, they feel empowered over their own learning and over their own future. It is incredibly important, and it's one of the biggest challenges, right, of that transition from childhood to adulthood, which is going from the passenger and often reluctant and kicking and fighting passenger to the driver of your own self and your own future. And
I'm real big on, let's get back to the basics, that you have to know who you're teaching. And it's going to be different for different cultures, different groups. I'm a first generation college student. First generation high school graduate in my family. And so a lot of times when I showed up on the campus, I didn't have the relationships, but I didn't know how to foster and build relationships. So when I work with students, and I'm not trying to disparage our field, I pretend as if all the teachers are horrible. And so I empower the kids to take control of their own education. And what they'll find out is that not all the teachers are horrible. There are going to be a few, because I tell this, those who are always on fire, those who are losing the fire, and those who need to be fired. Okay, but they have to find those who are on fire, but they're only going to do that by building relationships. So I give them practical, I'm a bare bones, let's keep it down to the bare minimum.
And but I got in, so I was like, I'm gonna do what like people expect me to fail. And I told my teachers that I was going to Michigan State. They kind of looked twice at me. What? This guy's going? So my motivation was I can't fail. I have to go, right? And so I did this amazing thing when I got to college. I did 3 things. I went to class. I paid attention, and I did my own homework. And that's why I tell people when I meet with students, I'm like, you do those 3 things, you're going to be amazed how far ahead you are. Right? And it sounds so simple, but as a student, it's hard because you start skipping classes, you're in there reading the paper, you're not doing your homework, you're trying to figure out ways to go around it. But if you do those basic 3 things, you're going to succeed.
But I do think, and I appreciate, our students absolutely have to have a sense of agency, and they absolutely have a responsibility to come to school and be engaged in their own learning. But it's also true that many of our kids don't feel a connection to school. They don't feel a sense of empowerment. They are in very many cases the first in their families to graduate from high school, and certainly the first in their families to graduate from college. And it can't be a "we're here, you come to us" model. We got to work our ass off with every kid around the relationships and where their concerns are, and reach out and work with every kid.